Hi, it's Andy Taylor with Tech Talk Radio, and it happens. That terrible sound, well, of nothing. Your hard drive has gone kaput. Now, this can be in an external closure, or it could be an internal hard drive where your system doesn't boot up, or you smell something that smells like it's burning. Now, this has happened to drives before. Now, a hard drive, basically, if we're talking about a regular SATA drive, has an electrical PCB board that is on the drive. Now, when this happens, sometimes it's not necessarily the entire drive that has gone bad. What can happen, sometimes a short or a power surge can actually take out this PCB board. So we're going to show you basically a company that can help you quite a bit in restoring your data and getting your data back. And what we have here is a drive that has died. It's a Seagate drive, 1.5 gigabyte drive that we have. And we're going to send this to a company, at least just the PCB board. They're going to change out the firmware on the board. Now, in the past, you might have been able to find an identical hard drive in the actual model number, the firmware number, and even the site that it came out of, where it was made, and around the same time, in the same size. And you might have been lucky. But some people got kind of aware of that and had old drives, and they said, hey, I can make a lot of money because data is important to people. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the electrical board off. We're going to send it to these people. They're out in Canada. We're going to send it to them. They're going to change the firmware out on that board with a board that should work inside the drive, and we're going to test it out right here. Now, what you're really going to need is you're going to need this kit or any kit similar that has torque wrenches, because hard drives don't use regular Phillips type of heads on them. So we're going to grab a torque wrench and we're going to actually pull that plate off the hard drive. And with the proper head checked, yes, that works, go ahead and remove the torque screws on it. Careful, still be careful with it, as you should with the drive. Don't chuck it around, because really all we're changing out is the electrical on this, the PCB board, not the platter. When you have a platter issue, that's when you need to send it to a company where they have a clean room, basically, and they can remove all of the components that are a part of the drive and replace it, like in our interview that we did with OnTrack. Kroll OnTrack is one of those companies. And the cool thing about what they do is you could send them the entire drive if it's a mechanical issue, and usually that can be denoted by a click, 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 or that you could hear the drive powering up, but it doesn't make it. Now, in this case, when a PCB board goes out, generally you're not going to hear it powering up. You're going to get nothing out of it. Now, we actually had this inside an enclosure, a Seagate enclosure. This happens to external drives where they can actually take a power surge and blow out the internals. Now, sometimes you're able to still use the drive itself, but in this case, it also blew out the board on the drive. Here's a picture of what that looked like. As you can see, the molten macaroni and cheese look of the drive means that drive ain't going to work and actually could do damage to your hard drive or an external component that it's plugged into. All right, we've taken the torque screws out of that. We're going to pull that, and you can inspect it, but generally what you're going to do now at this point, after going to PCBSolutions, is go ahead and send this to them. They'll go ahead and change it out. Now, the cost is generally about $49, and again, they're going to send them this board. They're not going to send you the same board back. They'll send you a board with a firmware chip from this actually into that board, and they will test it to make sure it works out before they send it to you. Now, to test this out, I would not recommend plugging this directly into your computer to test it out. Find an external source. There's a couple of great solutions. One of them, this comes from Kingwin. It is an adapter that will allow you to hook up SATA or parallel drives to your computer and then be able to retrieve your data. If you want to go with an internal enclosure, which I still wouldn't 100% recommend to do, but hey, here's one. Now these are a lot cheaper. These run about $14 to $20, depending on where you're going to get it. This puppy runs about $30. This is nice to have anyway. This is also from Kingwin. This gives you the ability to take your hard drive, plug it in, hot swap if you want. I don't like hot swapping, but again, you're able to then see your data on the drive. We're going to actually use the Kingpin USI adapter, which basically, let me give you an idea of how that looks. You've got a power source on it, and that's good. And then you have a connector. Now, this connector that you see here from Kingwin will accept regular standard drives, 2.5 inch as well as an SATA connection, if you can see that right there. Plugs via USB into a USB port on your computer. Now, yes, you could open up the computer, you could connect it, but before I know it's working, I wouldn't do that. And the package has arrived. Here's the package that we got in from our friends in Canada. We haven't even opened it up yet, so we're going to open that up. We're going to take it out. They ship it to you in a nice little box. And again, they'll put your name and address on the box. And now we're going to open it up. And what we have in here, they went ahead and sent me back the drive because it was so burned. I actually said, hey, could we use this to actually show it again? So they will go ahead and pull that out. Be gentle with it. All right. We know which one is the bad one because that's the one that has the burn marks. And we'll go ahead and open it out of its electrostatic bag. All right. And here we go. This is the new one. This is the one that's all taken care of. They've already transferred everything over. They actually put your name on it so that way it doesn't get mixed up in the orders. Now, let me let you guys see. I already showed you a picture, but they've also sent back the other board, so now you can get a good look at it. We'll take that out. And yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that. That's where the problem was. And that's what was stopping it, actually causing problems with anything it plugged into. It's very easy. Here's the drive. You can even see on the drive itself the scorch marks. Not good. Not good. And it stinks. God, it stinks to holy hell. All right. We'll go ahead and do that and make sure you put the screws back in place. So using the same torque, we should be good. The process to go ahead and send that into them takes about a week, which is not that bad. They'll do the firmware transfer for you, or you can elect to save $10 and do it yourself. I'd recommend let them do it because once they do it, they will test it, they will check it, and we'll make sure that board works on that drive of the similar type, and you know it should work okay for you. But God, that smell is just nasty. You might want to clean that with a little dab of rubbing alcohol on a towel, and then wipe it dry. Don't pour the rubbing alcohol on your drive. Remember, this is a working hard drive. Hopefully, you're testing it right with me. So we've all got put back together. All the screws are in place. Let's go ahead and plug in now our Kingwin connector. We've got our computer on over here. And if everything goes good, we'll actually hear that drive spin up. We have power, Captain. All right. We're going to do now, this is the power for the drive. Let's plug it in and see if it works. If so, we should hear that. We have power. I feel it. I feel it. All right. Now, we're going to take the connector for the SATA, plug it into the USB port on the computer, and there we go. Okay, so now we've got the SATA cable. We take the SATA cable, and we're going to plug the SATA cable into our Kingwin connector. All right, plugged in. We have power to the drive. We feel it spinning. Make sure you plug it in correctly. All right, have a nice area to work in as well. And now we're going to take this. This will tell us, did it work? Did our drive get recovered with PCBSolutions? We're going to go ahead and hook it up. And if so, we should hear that sound. That sound is basically telling us, yes, it's found the drive. It found something new. Let's check it out. Now we're going to go ahead and check to see if our drive, because I didn't hook up a mouse, and there it is. It's finding all the data. Drive recovered, and again, we did this without having to spend a ton of money on a duplicate hard drive, which doesn't always work. Now be sure to check out our interview with Kevin Shaw from PCBSolution. It is available on our website at TechtalkRadio.com. In the meantime, if you lose a drive to a power surge, an external, you do have a solution with PCBSolution. I want to thank them for helping us out, putting this all together. And again, a minimal cost, $49 for the board, and I guess shipping was $10 for us to send it to them. They're fast, efficient, and it worked.